1 year ago, we embarked on a journey across the country to find the best practices of local governance in various communities and showcase collaborative and innovative undertakings implemented by LGUs. With a sturdy balangay as our vessel of voyage and with stakeholders collectively rowing, we traverse the ocean with a hull of transparency and clarity of purpose in search for an archipelago of good governance. Through integrity, transparency, and accountability, the basic tenets of tapat na palakad, the balangay is harmoniously steered by active stakeholders to ensure that we commemorate the 20th anniversary of local autonomy in the Philippines. Through a year-long series of activities at the national-local level, with broader valuation of local autonomy towards national development and increased public awareness on local governance issues. The Biyaheng Pinoy serves as venue to define the vision of local autonomy, identify strategic actions, and formulate local action plans moving forward to Bayang Maunlad. The various paths, namely the knowledge management path, advocacy path, policy path, and awards and incentives path, served as our roots to today. 7 balangays consisting of hundreds of stakeholders set sail to showcase learnings and gather lessons from implementing the local government code over the years. These 7 balangays focused on the different aspects of local governance. 1. Good governance and anti-corruption. 2. Human development and poverty reduction. 3. Economic development. 4. Security, justice, and peace. 5. Environment, climate change adaptation and mitigation. 6. Performance management. And 7. Emerging policy issues in local governance. In a span of 2 decades, a good number of LGUs have excelled in different aspects of good governance, from administrative innovations, social and economic programs, environmental governance, to valuing the fundamentals of good governance through transparency, accountability, and inclusivity. The Balangay has a lot of reasons to hold a feast and celebrate. Local government units have shown that from good governance, progressive, self-reliant, and participative communities are born and nurtured. Fragments of tapat na palakad serve as stars that illuminate the path towards Bayang Maunlad. A good number of local governance stakeholders from the national and local governments, civil societies, private sector, academia, media, and development partners have come together in different local governance policy fora to blaze the trail in unison towards an archipelago with enabled good local governance. We have collected milestones that make our journey towards Bayang Maunlad more meaningful. Treasure boxes of best practices, strong partnerships with people and the private sector, and discoveries of outstanding LGUs. The local governance policy fora generated issues and recommendations on local fiscal capacities, institutionalization of transparency and accountability, improving local competitiveness, addressing the plight of the informal settlers, strengthening collaboration to address human trafficking, promoting local response to HIV and AIDS, climate change and disaster risk reduction and management, water and sanitation, and scaling up LGU best practices. These milestones don't just originate from rich and large communities. As a matter of fact, low-income class and small municipalities have stood out to be prime achievers. Take, for example, Wao Lanao del Sur, a town with only 30,000 people, championed the environmental and agricultural causes through its forest management and watershed development program. Upi Maguindanao, a third-class municipality, promoted quality education through participatory approach via Project Rendao. The small island of Bohol has garnered the highest score in the 2010 performance survey results. The rise of women in local governance is a remarkable gain worth recognizing. These only mean that there are no limitations to become a pioneer in the Balangay. Ripples of best practices can still come from small stones, cast by innovative local governments. However, we know that the journey towards Bayang Maunlad will never be easy. We must go through the ebbs and crests of the waves to reach our full potential. The 20 years of good practices must be consolidated to an archipelago of good governance. There is clamor to address demand for greater political, fiscal, and administrative authority by local governments. We still have to push forward. Though the local government code champions the autonomy of every community to chart its own destiny, one cannot deny a harmonized national-local government collaboration is vital in pushing the barangay to the right direction. There are still gaps that need to be addressed and be given focus. 1. Non-inclusive growth. 2. Weak institutions and governance failures. 3. Poor and degraded state of environment and natural resources. 4. Poor law enforcement and competitive measures for business and investments. 5. Property rights and inconsistent policies in agriculture. 6. Inadequate levels of human development. 7. Citizens' lack of voice, partnership, and engagement. Immediate action should be taken to address specific gaps. Resolving these gaps can build a steady foundation to fortify the outriggers of the barangay and add stability while sailing through rough waters. These gaps should not discourage us to move forward, but instead propel the barangay to enhance and strengthen its ranks to reach Bayang Maunlad. The barangay in itself has evolved from a vessel primarily for security and survival purposes into a complex fleet of responsibilities, all gearing towards the same direction of sustainability and integrity. With 20 years of local autonomy experience behind us, even modern islands of issues such as climate change, population growth, HIV and AIDS, and global competitiveness will not be left unvisited. Through the right paths, there will be no repulsion, no opposite direction, just one destination. So how do we move forward? What strategies should we take in order to ensure that Bayang Maunlad will be achieved? As we navigate the vast ocean of adversities, our sails will be held up high by the 3 pillars of sustainability: building constituencies, scaling up while maintaining balance, and protecting the integrity of people, institutions, and the environment. We will have empowered and accountable LGUs, disaster-ready LGUs, business-friendly and competitive LGUs, and conflict-free communities. Solutions will come from all levels, national, local, and community levels. As such, outcome areas identified by the Philippine Development Plan will appear into the horizon. 1. Competitive industry and services. 2. Competitive agriculture and fisheries. 3. Accelerating infrastructure development. 4. Resilient and inclusive financial sector. 5. Good governance and rule of law. 6. Social development. 7. Peace and security. And 8. Conservation, protection, and rehabilitation of environmental and natural resources. We are indeed sailing towards a broader horizon with endless opportunities to reach the Bayang Maunlad. It is inevitable to face the strong winds and the unknown waters, but these challenges can be overcome if the barangay will be more inclusive, harmonious, and empowered. And now, with a sturdier fleet and more room for participation, everyone is encouraged to join. The captain of the barangay can't do it alone. They can't do it alone. The horn is blown. We, the LGUs, NGOs, CSOs, POs, business and private sectors, NGAs, academe, media and development partners are called to converge, collaborate, and synergize. Just like what our heroic forefathers did centuries ago, we will revolutionize the communities. We will build upon the 2 decades of local autonomy to sail towards Bayang Maunlad. Halina't makiisa! Tara na sa Bayang Maunlad!